They jumped me on a Tuesday morning. I remember the smell of cinnamon still hanging in the air from the last batch of muffins, the ones I'd pulled from the oven at 5:30, just like I did every day for 4 years. I was unlocking the gate outside my bakery, flour plus fire, same routine, same sidewalk. I'd done it so many times that I didn't even think twice until I heard tires crunch slow behind me. It was a white pickup truck. Not unusual in a town like Briar Glen, Georgia. But the way it slowed, not stopped, just hovered, made the hairs on the back of my neck rise. Before I could even reach the front door, 3 men jumped out, masks on, moving fast. One slammed me to the ground by my hair, another sprayed red paint across the window, and the third, he stomped on my hand twice. My right hand, the one I used to braid a little girl's hair when her mom didn't show up. The one I used to knead dough for the kids on probation who came to my Saturday classes. The one that high-fived half the neighborhood. I didn't scream for help, nobody to hear it. Just a bottle crashing from across the street where an old man tried to yell at them. By the time I could even blink, they were gone, tires screeching down Bayberry Avenue, leaving behind blood, paint, and a message scrawled in capital letters. You don't belong here. That message didn't just stain my storefront. It got in people's bones. I woke up in the hospital, my mouth dry, my whole body hurting in a way that felt ancient. First thing I said when I saw my assistant Carla crying by my bed was, "Get the kids out of the kitchen." She nodded like it was a fire drill. We both knew how this went: keep them safe, keep them focused. But I knew something had broken, not just in my hand, but in the way our little town breathed. By lunchtime, the footage from the security camera across the street had already made it to Twitter. By sundown, 2 million people had seen it. Folks came by with candles, some with mops and scrub brushes, trying to get the paint off. They couldn't. The red kept bleeding through. That night, while I lay in a haze of pain meds and 4 beeps, something stirred outside the hospital walls. Not a protest. Not yet. More like an awakening. Because they didn't just attack me. They tried to erase everything I'd built. And that don't go unanswered. The one who answered first was a ghost from my past, someone I hadn't seen in years. His name's Ezra Bell. To some, that name still means trouble. To others, it means protection. We met long before he got inked with gang colors or made the news. Back then, he was just a 19-year-old with a chip on his shoulder and nowhere to be. I was 25, fresh from culinary school, teaching cooking classes for second-chance teens at the community center. He never smiled, didn't speak much, but he showed up. Every Thursday. I remember the first thing I told him. "You ever make cornbread from scratch?" He looked at me like I was nuts. "Why would I need to?" he asked. "'Cause one day," I said, "you'll be hungry, and no one's gonna feed you. Might as well know how to feed yourself." He stayed silent for a second, then picked up the damn bowl. So when I saw his face in that video standing in a busted backyard, cigarette in one hand, phone in the other, I knew exactly who was speaking. "You come for ours," he said. "We come for yours." That's simple. 35 seconds. That's all it took. His video went everywhere. Reposted, dissected, debated. Some called it a threat. Others called it a promise. But in Briar Glen, folks weren't watching to argue. They were watching to decide. That week, the whole town shifted. Kids stopped walking alone. Dads started sleeping on couches by front doors. People were scared, but they were angry, too. You could smell it in the air, like thunder coming. Ezra didn't hide. He started showing up again. At my bakery, what was left of it. Didn't say much. Just grabbed a brush, started painting over the hate. Police held a press conference. Said they were investigating leads. Never said the words white supremacy. Never called it terrorism. Never even said my name. But my community did. Carla organized vigils. My godson Trey, only 14, made buttons that said "Flour don't burn." Neighbors brought pies they couldn't afford to spare. And in the middle of it all, I sat in a hospital bed trying to figure out how to write again with one hand. Then came the envelope. No return address. Just a .22 caliber bullet, a grainy photo of 5 white men in camo, and a note. stay gone. They'd underestimated how stubborn I could be. So I sent out a message. Recorded it on Carla's podcast, No Music, No Polish. Just my voice, shaky but mine. I was born 3 blocks from my bakery. I got flour in my blood. If they think fear's gonna move me, they never met my mama. By the next day, that clip was in classrooms, on bus stops, in church pews. It wasn't loud, but it landed like gospel. What came next wasn't what I expected. One of the men from that attack, found slumped behind a train depot, blood on his head, jacket with a torch symbol. No arrests, no press, just whispers. One of theirs is down. The city went tight. Community centers shut down early. Soul food joints took down signs. A firebomb hit the rec center where Ezra's crew used to meet empty, thank God. But it was a message. And then they arrested Ezra. Said his video incited violence. Said he stirred the pot. But everybody knew that wasn't the reason. They locked him up because he reminded folks that we don't have to just take it. That sometimes we get to stand up. People filled the square outside the jail. No signs. No chants. Just presence. Just eyes saying, "We see you." That night, I sat up in my hospital bed, my arm throbbing, my spirit wired. Carla brought me my laptop. "I need to write," I told her. "To who?" she asked. "To everybody." I typed slow, with one hand. Took hours. But I got it out. I don't want anyone else hurt because of me. But I won't apologize for staying alive. That line made the rounds. Got painted on murals. Printed on t-shirts. Someone even tattooed it. When they finally released Ezra Quiet, no charge sheet, didn't head home. He came to the bakery with a mop and paint. Didn't say a word. Just got to work. 3 days later, I came back, walking slow, shoulders still stiff. Folks lined up down the block. Not for a protest this time. Just for muffins. Inside, someone had painted a mural of me holding a tray. Above it, in big bold letters, "Still rising." And I am. A reporter asked me if I planned to press charges. I said, I plan to live. That same week, Ezra and my godson started a mentorship program in the bakery's kitchen. Kids learning how to bake and how to protect what's theirs. Later, I stood in the community garden on a folding stage. No script, just truth. When I was 10, I said, my daddy told me, if you ever find yourself standing in fire, don't run. Stand still, let folks see what tried to burn you. They tried to burn me, but all they did was light a fuse. So now I'm asking you, if the fire ever comes to your door, who's standing with you? And who are you standing for? Because silence? That's how they win. So talk. Share this story. Let him know we're still rising and we're not afraid to be seen.